Hey everyone, I am about to show you how to make one of my favorite simple cakes. It's a nutmeg cake and it's a snack cake. So you make it in a sheet pan and you just eat it directly out of there. I will say it does not last very long because people just slowly keep cutting little pieces off of it, but it's really easy to make, so let's get started. Hey everyone, so we're going to start in a large bowl with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and of course, as you always know, I add in ground vanilla and a little bit of cinnamon, which I think adds a little bit of punch to this. Then we're going to add into our mixing bowl a 1/4 cup of margarine and a 1/4 cup of shortening. You can use Crisco or whatever your favorite one is. The rest of the ingredients are 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, 3 eggs. We're going to use some vanilla extract, and we're going to add in a cup of buttermilk. And that's the rest of the ingredients. The last thing I want to show you is this really amazing vanilla bean infused simple syrup that I'm going to brush on the cake after it's all done and out of the oven. All right. Next up, we've got to prep our pan, which is really easy. We're just going to spray with nonstick spray. We don't need to flour this, so we're just going to make sure we get the bottoms and make sure we get all of the edges, which I really love because what it does is it makes the cake pull away from the pan and it creates just a little bit of crisp around the edge of the cake. All right, back to our mixer. We're going to go ahead and get the shortening and the butter going. We're going to mix this on low, medium to low, basically till it's nice and soft and fully combined. And we're going to just leave that in the pot. We're not looking for this to be adding too much air, and you'll see that I'm using my paddle attachment. Coming in next is going to be our sugar. So we're going to add all the sugar in at once for this recipe. No need to do it in stages. We're going to add it in all at one time. And next up, we're going to add in that vanilla right into our mixing bowl. Again, this is a pretty easy recipe. It comes together super fast, and it always has ingredients that I generally have in the house anyways. We're going to go ahead and get this mixing again on low to medium until it is just combined. I'll speed this up for a minute. All right, so next up, we're going to add our eggs in, and we're going to just add them in one at a time. And we're going to mix them together after each addition of the egg. And it doesn't take too long. It comes together pretty quickly using the paddle attachment, as you can see. And here's our final egg. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the nutmeg that goes into the nutmeg cake. This is ground nutmeg. You can find it shelf stable. You'll see it in grocery stores all over, and it's fine. I do use it in different recipes, but for this recipe, I much prefer to use ground nutmeg, which comes in the whole ground nutmeg nut itself. You can see it here. There's one half. That's what it looks like on the outside and what it looks like on the flat side that I've been using. So I'm just going to get my zester, and I'm going to go ahead and zest into the flour mixture. I'm going to go ahead and zest in 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Now, I will say I probably go overboard, but I just like nutmeg, and it tastes so great in this cake. So we're going to go ahead and finish that up, get the rest of that nutmeg into the bowl, and then we're just going to use a whisk and get all of that whisk together and ready. So now we're left with our flour mixture and our buttermilk. We're going to alternate buttermilk, flour mixture, buttermilk, flour mixture. Here we go. All right, we got some flour in. We're going to add the buttermilk, more flour, more buttermilk, more flour, bit more of the buttermilk, the last of the flour. And there we go. We have our beautiful batter. I'm going to just take a spatula and just run through it one more time just to make sure that there's no like air pockets or little pockets of flour that ended up somewhere in the mix of the batter itself. And now it's ready to go into the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and spread that directly into our prepared pan to make sure we spread it all the way out to all the corners, and then it's pretty even. And then we're going to bake this in a 350-degree oven. We're going to bake for about 30 to 45 minutes. 30 to 35 minutes, and we're gonna rotate that halfway. So about 30 minutes has elapsed. We're gonna pull the cake out and let's see with our cake tester if the tester comes out clean and we know that we're ready to go for the next step. We'll stick that in. There we go, no crumbs at all, perfect. We are ready to go. And you see those crispy little edges I was talking about. It's my favorite part of the cake. And so now we're gonna just pour some of this vanilla bean simple syrup I mentioned before into a small bowl. I'm gonna use a pastry brush and I'm going to brush the heck out of this cake and just make sure I get it. While it's warm, we get it all the way in and soaked into a nice crisp layer. And there we are. Nutmeg cake, super easy to make, comes together quickly. Your family will love it.